Welcome to the Fantasy Addiction Network. Today we're talking a recap of Week 15, Falcons 49ers. Final score on this one, Falcons 29, 49ers 22. This one was the only interesting game in the afternoon slate, and man, did this one not disappoint. In a game that looked like the 49ers should have easily won this one, they come away with a loss, and now the 49ers drop back to 5th. In the NFC, the Seahawks retaking the West after beating the Panthers. So this will be an interesting story to monitor going into Week 16, 17. From a fantasy angle, I mean, a couple names here, and most players in this game were a disappointment, but we'll start with the Falcons side of the ball. Matt Ryan, 25 of 39 for 210 yards and 2 touchdowns. Also had 5 carries on the ground for 27 yards. So you'll take that for Matt Ryan. No interceptions in this game, facing off against a tough San Francisco defense. That was really good for him. Devonta Freeman disappointed as we kind of expected. 49ers continue to be really good against the run. Only 12 carries, 39 yards, 2 catches for 16 yards. Just not a good day. Quadri Allison with the 1-yard touchdown, but other than that, nothing on the ground. For the Falcons, pretty much the entire game was Julio Jones. Holy mackerel, 13 of 20 targets for 134 yards and 2 touchdowns, including the game winner. Now, I feel for anyone that had Austin Hooper and was playing against Julio Jones at the end of the game, Austin Hooper gets an amazing touchdown grab, but due to the stupid Calvin Johnson rule, because the tip of the ball touched the ground, and then it was a weird play where he had complete control of it, ball touches the ground, still has control of it, then he lets go and regains control of it without the ball touching the ground a second time. It was pretty clear that he had control of it over it the entire time, but because of that Calvin Johnson rule, they called it an incomplete pass, and then very next play, Julio Jones gets the touchdown. So if you had Hooper, you were going against Julio. That was a 12-point swing, if not more, because of the reception and the yard. So tough break for Hooper owners there. Hooper only with 3 catches on 6 targets for 20 yards, so not what you were hoping for in this one. Russell Gage with an okay day, 5 catches, but only 27 yards. Really nothing else, but this was just all Julio Jones, over 38 points in PPR, just fantastic day. Looking at the 49ers, Jimmy Garoppolo, 22 of 34 for 200 yards and 1 touchdown on the day. Really disappointing, especially after tearing the New Orleans Saints defense a new one. There was decent amount of spread for the running backs. Mostert definitely got the majority of the carries, 14 carries for 54 yards and the 1 touchdown on the day, only 1 reception for 5 yards, and then a bogus fumble on the last play of the game where they had a kickoff. He did like a backwards lateral that ended up in the Falcons recovering it for a touchdown, so he loses a couple points there, but Kyle Juszczyk with the other touchdown on the day, the only receiving touchdown from Jimmy Garoppolo. He had 2 carries for 1 yard and then 2 receptions for 6 yards. Tevin Coleman with a big run in this one, 4 carries for 40 yards. Nothing much going for fantasy. Matt Breida, 4 carries, 11 yards, 2 receptions and 6 yards, and then he had a fumble. I don't think he touched the ball after he fumbled. Nothing for the receivers. Deebo Samuel with 1 carry for 8 yards and only 1 catch on the day for a nice 29-yard scamper, but that was the only time he really touched the ball. Emmanuel Sanders, 2 for 9 after going nuclear last week. Just very disappointing all around. George Kittle, similar to Julio Jones, was the only magnet in the offense. 13 catches on 17 targets for 134 yards. So George Kittle had himself a day, but it wasn't enough. So this will be very interesting to see how this affects the 49ers playing going forward, but you won't have to worry about anyone being benched going into the final game of the season, at least if you do play into Week 17. But we'll carry this analysis forward into the rest of the week, trying to get everyone ready for those very, very important Week 16 matchups for fantasy. So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. We'll be posting more content, and we will see you in the next one.